Shinobi, open your eyes. For the sake of your master.
Hey everyone, it's BlueLizardJello and welcome back to Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. Last time we took out the red-eyed ogre and we uncovered a little hidden bell. And you can see the icon in the bottom left-hand corner right underneath my health bar. That is the bell demon. We discovered him by traveling through a cave that was hiding the headless and actually being transported to a mountaintop where we could ring a bell and get the bell demon. We talked about that in the last episode. This time, we will be traveling through the Serpent Valley and encountering our next boss, Gyobu. Let's go ahead and get that started right now. Just in case you want to see the skills that I have acquired so far, I did a little bit of farming off camera, just practicing some moves really, but I haven't purchased any new skills as of just yet. But if you wanted to take a look at those, just review the previous videos and they'll tell you what skills we have acquired. So we're going to be traveling this time to the Underbridge Valley in Ashina Outskirts. Here in Ashina, so in the end of the last episode, we had jumped down that bridge, activated the shrine, then we actually climbed back up so we could go and locate the bell demon. But now we're going to be descending into this valley. Let's get the spirit emblem. You can hear and feel the rumbling. Something is clearly going on, and we're going to be traveling up to that building in this episode. But in order to go up, we're going to have to go down first. So let's jump over to the grapple point and then drop down. And so far so good, but in just a moment here we're going to be encountering what exactly was making that rumbling. Remember when we saw that giant snake skin a few episodes ago? Well, now we know where it came from. Allow me to talk about the serpent here for just a moment. That's a really, really good shot. Notice the things that are dangling just beneath its chin. Now, I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in this snake. Snakes in general, I'm fairly familiar with. As a herpetologist on the side, someone who studies reptiles and amphibians, I'm rather familiar with snakes and serpents. But this one eluded me for a while, so I had to do some reading, as well as some video watching. And there's a video by Smotown who does an incredible job elucidating some of the lore behind this serpent. And he had theorized that this is a representation of Benzaiten, which is a Japanese goddess, actually one of the 7 lucky gods. But this particular serpent appears to possibly be an immature or an imperfect dragon, especially based on these whiskers. You know, the Japanese dragons often have long facial hair underneath their chin. We're going to see some statues later that may help to hone in on some of that lore, but we'll talk more about that as the time comes. I'll be linking a video to Smotown's video in the description below. Really, really fantastic, smaller lore channel. I've had a lot of fun watching some of his videos. Right, so the goal here, it is a bit of a stealth mission. We don't want the snake to see us, so I am going to wait for one more cycle. As soon as he turns his head, we can jump and grapple. Quickly drop down into this long grass and duck. So far so good. Next goal, of course, is directly across. And as he's looking that way, should be able to go. And then just sprint for this cave. And that's why you sprint. That is a scripted event, so even if he hasn't seen you, he will charge that cave. I did just get one spirit emblem. Here's another. Not done with that section just yet. Fortunately, there's no items in this immediate area that we need to collect. Now, I just jumped over that gap. If you need to double jump your way up, you certainly can. But at this point, as the snake searches for us, we can just stay in the long grass as much as possible. Even if you run up against his body, he will be none the wiser. And then all we need to do is hug this wall. We're going to slowly traverse over this crumbling passageway, and our goal is that little hut right there. As soon as we get to the end, and we have the opportunity, we're going to sprint and enter. This is a Palentine. I'm going to talk more about the Palentine here in just a moment. As soon as you get that red reticle, perform your finishing move, and then you may want to get out of here because he can still hurt you with his thrashing. And all we're doing right now is getting out of the way. We're going to be backtracking here in a moment, but let's get up into this cave. Get up close and personal to all of his rows of teeth and the retracting fangs. I love the attention to detail that they put into the snake. Hopefully for obvious reasons. Now this tree right here, we're going to talk about this in just a moment, but pay attention to this very, very large tree and the ropes that are binding it. And now, let's drop down and let's talk about that palanquin. So a palanquin is a type of transport for a single individual. They're often used in wedding ceremonies, although wedding palanquin tend to be a little bit more ornate. But if you pay attention, now some of this blood is probably from the serpent, we just damaged him, but some of it was already here, we just didn't have time to explore it. There is some descriptions that we'll read later on that talk about people who are being offered as brides to the great serpent in the valley. It is quite possible and even likely that women were being brought here one at a time in this palanquin and delivered to the serpent as a sacrifice. Now here we have snap seeds. We've already talked about these a little bit because we got them just before the Madam Butterfly fight. In fact, this time we got 5. Right, so now let's back up. Once again. Oh, and unfortunately that jump brought me the wrong way. That's okay. As we come outside this cave, now we are one step closer to that building that we are after. You can see the valley down below, and once again, another good shot of that tree. Talking about that as we get up to the next shrine here. Just zipping our way over. We'll get that item here in a moment. Let's get up and activate this idol. We could rest if we needed to, but we do have all of our gourds and our health. Over here we do have a gotchi and sugar. But then over behind this rock, we have another one of those short-statured assassins, or rats as we're going to have them known here in just a bit. What I like to do is typically, now you can just fight them one-on-one, no big deal. But as long as you're quiet, you can just get right behind him with a backstab. And once he's dead, you get the Herb Catalog Scrap, a page torn from the Ashina Herb Catalog, a compendium of flowers and herbs. The snapseed naturally grows in ravines and deep valleys. According to denizens of the Sunken Valley, such places are appropriate for offering oneself in marriage to the Great Serpent. Here we have that passage that's telling us about the sacrifices. If one wishes to become a bride, they must enter the belly of the serpent in the valley. But we will see a different type of sacrifice later on once we're actually in the Sunken Valley. Don't forget to get your loot. You can get some scrap iron from them, which is great. And now, before we really proceed, let's just be seen by everyone, apparently. Normally, that guardsman doesn't see us, so you know what we're gonna have to do is reset that encounter because there's an eavesdrop I want to get. No big deal, we'll just rest. And once again, I will take out this assassin. I don't want him sneaking up on me. And actually, can we just... Yes, we can. Get the nice drop attack on him. Anything good? Nope, just some zen. Right, now. Perfect. So it wasn't actually the gunman, it was the big lumbering guy who's going to be coming around here in a moment. But now we can get our eavesdrop.
Look, a smoke signal from the Great Castle Gate.
Is it Lord Gyobu?
Yes, that's definitely Gyobu the demon. Ashina is safe so long as that man guards her doors.
I'll give you 3 guesses as to who the next boss is going to be. There's another eavesdrop right up there. But now we want to start taking out these enemies. I like to do this in a bit of a stealth way, even though there's not too many of them and they're not terribly dangerous, so it's not necessary. But we can run over here, we can get another Akko Sugar. And if we carefully jump and grab the top of this wall, we could take out the big guy, which isn't a terrible idea. In fact, I think I will do just that. Even though everyone else is going to be alerted now, that's okay. Let's just get out of the view of the gunman here. and run to the back. There's the Makita counter. Ooh, I went for the Makiri. Missed it though. Get some good, perfect deflections. I believe that there's still one more gunman at the end. Yep, he doesn't even know where I am. There's some Ungo sugar. And if we drop down and go, it's actually a little broken wall right here. And we have a heavy coin purse and 3 Mibu balloons of wealth, and then a couple of ceramic shards. Let's just deal with this guy right here. Perfect. Excellent. And if you're looking for the story, make sure that you go up to this platform. There's one enemy patrolling right there, but we can get another remnant.
We managed to drive them back once, but the Interior Ministry's army is far too powerful.
And that is why you wish to use the power of my blood. It doesn't matter how much power you obtain. You'll keep on fighting until you're a monster, incapable of feeling pain or fear. I do not wish to corrupt the lives of men.
Look at this mountain of bodies. Ashina cannot be defended by normal means. Not anymore.
I could never be as strong as you, Lord Genichiro. I do not yet know what it is I should do.
It has been a long time since that happened. Wait all you like. It'll do you no good.
So we have Lord Genichiro talking to Kuro, who is obviously conflicted on what is the right thing to do. And we also had mention of the Interior Ministry. We'll be talking about them and actually encountering them relatively soon. Just get a quick backstab on him. And then because we want the eavesdrop, just make sure that we do so quietly. We don't have to crouch actually. We could take the rooftops or just get close enough.
Kokage, my poor horse. All it took was a bit of gunpowder. He startled, and now he's dead.
While that is all well and sad, let's make sure that this guy can't sneak up on us. And we get some fistfuls of ash, but more importantly, that was not just flavor text. It talked about how a little bit of gunpowder was able to spook his horse Kokage, and that caused him to be killed in battle. Now, Kokage, broken down in Japanese, Ko means small, and Kage refers to shadow, so it's small shadow. And we're going to fight a boss here in just a moment that might shed some light on how that horse exactly got his name. These doors not going to open just yet for us, but we do have some pellets, good for healing. And then right at the top of this rooftop, we can survey a bloody, corpse-filled battleground. But yet we see no enemies. If you've played any FromSoft game before, or likely any video game, you probably know this is a boss arena. And you would be absolutely right in assuming that this is a boss arena. We're going to be fighting Gyobu the demon. A couple of things to take note of. Number one, I'm going to prepare my loadout before I drop down, because as soon as I drop down, he's going to be bursting out of those gates over there. Secondly, I'm not going to speak for the first little bit, and I'm not going to run up and attack him, even though you can. You can get several free hits if you just charge him right away. But I want you to hear the voice acting, because it is phenomenal, and to be truthful, it's one of the main reasons why I chose English instead of Japanese for the voiceovers. Now, to get set up, I'm going to leave only the Shinobi firecrackers, because guess what? That eavesdrop we just got that talked about gunpowder was actually referring to firecrackers. This will spook his horse, and we only want to use it sparingly. We don't want to use it too much because he does become immune over time, especially after phase 1. And then as far as consumables go, frankly, I'm going to get rid of those two, and I think I'm just going to drop on Akko Sugar, which is going to deal extra damage as I attack. Nothing else is really going to be that beneficial. One of the skills, however, that's very, very good, although I can't show you here. Oh yes, I can. The grappling hook attack. We took this early on because this allows you to, once you've grappled, deal an attack as you're landing. There are going to be times where we can grapple onto Gyobu, especially when he's far away, and as we come down to him, when we hit the attack button, we'll attack him twice on the way down, which is basically just free damage. We have one item to collect. I'm going to grab that, and then you can listen to Gyobu.
My name is Gyobu Masataka Oniwa! As I breathe, you will not pass the castle gate! Gyobu the demon.
There's the first grapple. You saw that I had a perilous attack there that I had to deal with. When he shoves his spear into the ground, that's actually a really, really good opportunity to get a free hit in. Back up. Okay. When he does that move, once again, you can get some free damage just by using your grapple. And let's go ahead and use the firecracker for the first time. Just be prepared that as soon as he's up, he may attack. And there's another point for grapple anytime you've seen that arrow. We saw that with the ogre as well. And if the horse rears up, that's a good opportunity as well. You see, I already have his health down about halfway. This is going to be another grapple. Another couple of free hits. Using some perfect deflections. And there's the grapple if you just sidestep that. We almost have his first death blow down. You can see he does have two. Careful. I do want to show this one move, or this one combo, I should say. Well, we're going to have to show it on the next time because this is going to be our first death blow. There's number one. Now, one thing I do want to show you is I want to die. I'm going to allow him to kill me because he actually has some unique dialogue if you resurrect. There we are. There's the first one. But we have already learned about the resurrect mechanic. Let's let him get a little bit of a distance because I want to heal as soon as I can.
You're still standing! I'll strike you as many times as it takes!
Those are just blocks, not deflections. There's a dodge for the perilous. There's that immediate attack that he used after the firecrackers. There's a good deflection. For some of his combos, once you get some good deflections, you actually get a stun on him, and you can do some extra damage. There's the horse rear, perfect. Tons of free damage. Another grapple. Now my hint on the grapple attack is wait until you almost landed on him in order to use the grapple. Otherwise, you're going to waste one of those swings. And there's the finish.
Forgive me. Sekiro. Forgive me.
Gyobu Oniwa, the battle memory of an extraordinary foe lingering in the mind of the wolf. Commune with the Sculptors Idol and confront memories of battle to permanently increase attack, just like we did with the butterfly's memory. Gyobu Masataka Oniwa was keeper of the Ashina Castle Gate. In fact, he wasn't just keeper of the gate, he was actually a close personal friend to Ishin Ashina, and we're going to learn more about that as we go. But we also get the mechanical barrel, a mechanical metal barrel that can be given to the sculptor to enable prosthetic tool upgrades. It appears to have been made to fit perfectly inside the wrist bone of the shinobi prosthetic. A reinforced core is sure to make a shinobi's fangs even sharper. And of course, it's just telling us head back to the sculptor to unlock those upgrades. Perfect. Now, believe it or not, given this huge arena, that fistful of ash that we picked up is the only thing that we need to collect. So I'm going to go to the Sculptors Idol. We are going to rest. And then over there, there is some really good loot and a very interesting NPC or two. But before we do that, we're going to save ourselves some time. And we're going to head through this castle gate. There's going to be an enemy right around the corner here. We can just quickly charge. Get the kill, and we'll be exploring this area fully, but for now, all we want to do, should be able to make one of these jumps, or is it back here? What we can do is grab onto that rooftop, and we even have an eavesdrop right here.
It seems Ishin's illness is indeed grave.
The land of Ashina will not last much longer, even with Genichiro on our side. What about our other mission?
Black Hat is fighting like a demon by the Serpent Valley side of the castle.
Then that's where we're going next. But keep your wits about you. The Black Hat Badger won't go down without a fight.
Mention of the Black Hat Badger. We're going to be seeing him in a few episodes. Really valuable NPC. But these are more of those rats or assassins. And we want to take them out. So we have 1, 2, and then there's going to be another one hiding behind a tree. So let's see how we can take them out. I do still have my firecrackers equipped. Chances of me getting a stealth kill might be a little bit slim. Oh, almost had it. Now notice that these guys are wearing these hats, which unfortunately makes it very difficult in order to take them out. So what I should do is have the axe. There it is, because if you can break the hat, then you can get the kill on them. There we are. Got some black gunpowder there, good for upgrading. Make sure we get our loot. There's some more pellets, and here's the final one. This guy does not have that same hat, but with a good stun with the axe, they go down. And with those dead, that's all we wanted to do here. So now we are going to backtrack to this building. Once again, all that really did was save us a little bit of time. I really enjoyed the Gyobu boss fight. Now, that is the intentional first boss for most people, and I think it does a really good job of kind of tutorializing some of the bosses. Right, so now I'm a little bit higher than I wanted to be in order to talk about this, but let's get a look at that big tree with the rope around it that we saw early on. We'll use the, ooh, don't dash off. I'm going to use the Nightjar Monocular. There you can see the rope tied around a large tree. Now, why would someone tie rope around a tree? Well, that rope is what's known as a shiminawa, and a shiminawa goes around what's called a yorishiro, which is an object that is used to attract kami, or spirit. Those spirits can be many, many different things, but it could be even a spiritual goddess like Benzaiten, the giant snake. It's possible that someone wrapped a shiminawa around this tree in hopes to attract and capture Benzaiten, or maybe it was just to attract Benzaiten to the area. Either way, we're going to see examples of shiminawa throughout the game, and I wanted to bring this up as this is the first example that we have. Something else that I forgot to mention is that Kokage, the horse, the dead horse that we saw with the one soldier who told us about the gunpowder. Kokage means small shadow. If you noticed in Gyobu's dialogue, he referred to his horse as Onikage. Kage once again meaning shadow, but Oni is a word meaning a type of unnatural or supernatural demon. So it's demon shadow. Gyobu being the demon, his horse is his shadow. It's actually Gyobu shadow. And the soldier seems to have named his horse Small Shadow after Gyobu's horse. Just a cool little tidbit right there. Get some ceramic shards over here, but then up at the top, you can see the crows flying off. We have another memorial mob.
Care to purchase an offering?
Another one.
Where you find the departed, you'll find the memorial mob. A battlefield is our paradise. Go ahead, buy an offering.
Here we can have most of the items that the former memorial mob sold, but we do get the addition of the Dragon's Blood Droplet, an item that is rarely dropped by a divine heir of the dragon's heritage. Using it will slightly increase your resurrective power. In other words, if you're trying to refill one of your resurrective nodes, this one can slightly increase it and get it closer to full. But more importantly, we can restore the power of life to those who have been drained of it by offering this drop to the Sculptors Idol with the recovery charm in hand. In turn, all afflicted with the dragon rot will be healed. The incessant coughing must cease. We haven't seen dragon rot yet, but we will be doing that here in this playthrough. But we can also get antidote powders, fistfuls of ash, light coin, and heavy coin purses, good for storing that sen instead of losing it. And if you didn't already, you could pick up Robert's Firecrackers for 500 sen. Hopefully, you've already done so. But we can get a gourd seed, good for another red gourd usage once we turn this into Emma.
Where you find the departed, you'll find the memorial mob. Wherever your travels take you, make sure you bring some offerings.
But that's it for the mob. Let's head inside and meet a really cool NPC. I found it interesting when I was first approaching this person that I had already sheathed my sword, as if Sekiro knew that this was not someone that he had to fear.
Another rat. But those eyes, a starving wolf. Before I kill you, tell me your name. Tell me your name! No name to give. You shinobi are all the same. You die nameless, with no one to mourn you. However, your left arm, a prosthetic shinobi arm, it reminds me of... That's it. A one-armed wolf. I like it. Which means Sekiro. That is what I shall name you. Who are you? I am the Tengu of Ashina. Come, Sekiro. Care to hunt some rats with me?
What?
Rats have snuck into Ashina, scurrying about like they own the place. There are all kinds of rats out there, and they must be cut down. Every last one of them. It seems you have a talent for killing. Allow me to help you hone that talent. What'll it be, Sekiro? Will you hunt rats with me?
While you can refuse, there's really no reason not to, and the rats that he's asking us to kill, well, we've already done that.
Very well.
Excellent. You'll need this if you're with me, Sekiro.
A description of the rats that have snuck to Ashina. Speak to the Tengu again once the rats are dealt with. The rats are assassins from Senpu Temple, short stature, wearing bamboo hats. A number of rats are lurking about, and they've been last seen around Ashina Castle Gate. Exactly those enemies that we were just fighting.
What is this?
The face of a rat, and where it makes its home. Go and kill it. If you do, I will give you something that will aid you in battle.
Notice his stature. He's quite tall. Notice the outfit that he's wearing, this grass shawl, these arm wrappings and the leg wrappings, as well as this unmistakable mask. Remember that, because we will be seeing it again, and this might help to give you some clues as to who the Tengu really is. But since we've already killed the rats...
Looks like you've caught yourself some rats.
Yes.
I knew you had a talent for killing. Wonderful. Here's your reward. Take it.
We get the Ashina Esoteric Text. A compendium of the Ashina sword style allows one to learn Ashina style skills. The text reads like a history of Isshin Ashina's battles. When young, Isshin fought desperately time and time again, polishing his technique in the blood of his enemies. He consolidated his learnings under the Ashina style name for the sake of his clan's dominance. So this belonged to, or at least was written by, Isshin Ashina himself, and it's going to open up a new skill tree for us to spend our skill points on.
This is...
The ways of the Ashina Blade. It's our school of fighting. But there are no hard and fast rules. You just win your battles. That alone is the most important rule of the Ashina style. I hope it can be of assistance with your rat hunting. And most of all, your own battles you've yet to fight.
Over here, we do have some more pellets, and now we can open up this door. This leads back to the courtyard near where we got the eavesdrop about the horse. Won't be using this for quite some time, but we do have this old woman who doesn't have a lot to say, but she seems to be more knowledgeable than she lets on.
Oh, you survived. That accursed Gyobu's finally a corpse, I take it. That changes nothing, you know. There'll be more wars, there'll be more corpses, and deep-seated hatred will run wild. Where's all that hatred go? Haven't you ever wondered? Guess not. Guess you haven't. That's why I pity you. And I pitied him.
Who is the him that she's talking about? Well, more on that later, but she seems to imply that hatred actually needs to find a physical place to manifest itself. And it will. Much later on. A couple other things to note, though, about the Tengu here. He's the one who gave us the name Sekiro. Not to mention, he seems to recognize the prosthetic that we're wearing, or at least it reminds him of someone. Before we leave the building, though, make sure that you go up top. You can use your grapple to jump down to the bottom floor and loop back up around again, and then use it where it's supposed to be used. We have that board right above us that we want to get to, which means we'll just have to kind of traverse around. Nice wide beam, so it shouldn't be too difficult. There we are, and we can just grab... Ooh, careful. Should be able to grab onto that once you get it right. There we are. And we have a treasure chest. And we have a prayer bead. We now have 3 of these in our possession. Not enough to make a necklace, but we are getting there. Let's just drop down. We do have that one other item that I failed to get before I jumped up. So let's actually, tell you what, let's just do a ledge hang. Drop and get another grab, and nope. Trying to drop down. That's working like gangbusters. Tell you what, let's just do the long way. There we are. Sheath our sword yet again. There's our light coin purse, and that's everything in this area. So let's now go back to the dilapidated temple. Of course, we got another gourd seed. Let's turn that into Emma.
I'm glad you've come, Master Wolf. Goodbye.
Bringing us up to 4 heals now. And let's give the mechanical barrel to the sculptor.
Oh, I see you've acquired something quite interesting. A mechanical barrel. It's a mechanism that can serve as the very core of the prosthetic. Hand it here. I'll fit it to the arm for you.
What difference does the barrel make?
With a versatile base such as this, I can use various purifying agents to further hone that fang of yours.
Purifying agents?
Purifying agents are materials that can be used together with the barrel. Things like gunpowder and scrap metal. So if you find something of that sort, be sure to bring it my way.
And now we have an entire skill tree just dedicated to the prosthetic tools. We'll be exploring this next time.
With a mechanical barrel, so many possibilities. I can use various purifying agents to further hone that fang of yours. So if you find something of that sort, be sure to bring it my way.
Speaking of next time, we'll also be taking a look at the Ashina skills in the new skill tree at the beginning of the next episode. But that is going to do it for this episode of Everything Possible in Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. I hope you learned something, and if you did, leave me a comment below and let me know what you learned. And if I missed something, or if you have a better tactic to share, leave that as well so we can all keep learning. But I want to thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.